Well, I got to say, this was fun. I started with this prompt. Just make it up. So I'm going to open a cafe in Belconnen. Well, I'm not actually, but just say. And I'm going to have a chat to the AI tool. I'm going to use a few of them. We'll try. And I'm going to do a bit of role playing here. You're my marketing assistant. Put me together a marketing plan, right? So I want to do a competitor analysis. That's what I really want to do. That's the guts of it. I want a list of all cafes in Belconnen. There's a location, the target market, and food and style. As sources of information, use their digital footprint wherever you can find it. When you've done this, use the menu to create a table comparing their pricing. Analyze the menu and the information from their digital footprint. Identify marketing opportunities for the product range, pricing, target marketing, positioning for me to use in developing the marketing plan for my new cafe. Before you get started, confirm your understanding of the task and ask me any questions you need. I can't provide any further analysis. Right. So off you go. So I went to Grok, and as you can see on the top there, I went to Grok, I went to Gemini, I went to ChatGPT. I thought I'll put them all to work and see what I can come up with. So here's what happened. I copied that prompt precisely and I put it into Grok and I said, there you go. And it went to town on this thing. And after a bit less than half an hour, it crashed. It's had a few attempts at this. It keeps aborting. So it keeps disconnecting. I'm using the free version of Grok here, by the way. And I'm not sure why. Anyway, it's having a good crack, but it's running out of puff for some reason. So I'll leave that alone for now. Gemini, here's what happened to Gemini. So I went with Gemini and I said, here's my prompt. It gave me, this is what it said. It says, this is the plan. And it gave me an opportunity at the time to edit the plan if I wanted to. I didn't worry about that. I just said, just do your research. And it came up with this. And that was 20. Oh, that's not the final. That I think is this one, actually. I think that's actually this one. The final competitor analysis. No, it's not. I don't think. That's a different one. I'm skipping ahead there. But this report here, anyway, this is what it came up with. It was quite comprehensive. I haven't read through the whole thing. Obviously, if I was advising a client this stuff, then I'd take a bit more detail. But, this is a demo, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then I went to ChatGPT and I did the same thing. And ChatGPT said, "Oi, well, just want to clarify a few points first." And I come back and made this stuff up. And I said, basically, I copied and pasted those questions into the prompt. And I just said, include nearby suburbs. We'll do Uber Eats and other home delivery, so dine-in and takeaway, and nothing specific. So just go to town and do your thing. So it came back and it gave me this report, right? So I that report that ChatGPT gave me, I just copied that. So I downloaded ChatGPT report. I downloaded the Gemini report to my drive, and then I went to back to Gemini in a new prompt completely. And this is where it got interesting, really interesting actually. So I uploaded the two documents. One was ChatGPT, one was Gemini. And I said, you're not the marketing assistant now, you're the marketing manager. And two of your assistants have separately undertaken a competitor analysis of cafes in Belconnen and the surrounding areas, and their reports are attached. Your job now is to collate these into one single competitor analysis report. And, well, there you go. Pretty cool. So it gave me this report, which was, when we're looking at it on screen at the moment, that's it there. And I've just exported that through to this one, and that's what I've got. In the end, it gave me a 14-page report, which is pretty long and verbose and loads of reading. So that's all too much like hard work for now. And then I said, well, actually, in here, then I then said, well, do me a HTML document, which it did. And this is what it gave me when it did that. So you can tell it to do different coding bits, and there's more in a moment, but it'll just create the code like this. You can do the preview, and that's what it gives you, like a HTML report. You can just copy the code over here into a text editor and save as HTML and open it in your browser wherever you like, and that's what it'll do for you. But interestingly, up here, though, when you go back to the report that it gave in the first place, you've got here, you've got the share button, share and export and create, right? So create a web page, create an infographic, create a quiz, or create an audio. So I thought, well, let's do this thing. Create me a web page. So it did, of course, and I got this web page like this. Pretty clever stuff, and it's got for me this code. That's the web page it gave me, which is, I haven't made any edits to it, by the way. I've just left it as it is, as it gave me. And I check the preview, and it's got this good looking web page over here. And you may have noticed, if you care to look at it, it's given me some JavaScript in here, which the JavaScript has allowed us, if you like, to do this sort of business. Give me just what I want to look. If I want to see what was modern, if I want to see what's budget friendly, if I want to see what's traditional, if I want to see what's gluten free, I can, on all this sort of stuff, right? So I can see who is in the market. If I want to do whatever period of those I want to do, I can also do a search by cafe. So as an example, if I start typing, I can do that sort of stuff as well. Okay, so down here, then I've got the interactive pricing analysis. I can see, well, coffee standard, what's it going to cost me? $10. Gosh, that's a lot. Anyway, it seems a lot, but whatever. So that's what they've got. I don't know if that's even correct. I'd want to go double check that. I'm not sure it'd be right, but what I'm going to do, a croissant, so it's giving me not the whole menu, but you can see here if it's giving me, maybe the common items, whatever that might mean. So whatever you might see typically on a menu, what might you expect to pay for it around here? So it's really quite insightful, actually, just looking at that on its own. Strategic opportunities. So here's some drop downs for you. So there we go. We can have a look at these in a bit more detail, what those opportunities might be. So that's a really interesting one on this one. We've got Competitor Explorer. So this is the menus up top. We can scroll down, just a single HTML page. Again, you could take that code, copy to a text editor, just take that, Control-A, copy, and then paste into a text editor, save it as a HTML file, and there's your file. And then I said, that was the one I did on this one, I think, this is my full report, right? And then I said, after this, now what about an infographic was the next one. And then I didn't worry about the quiz, but I said the audio file. So I said the infographic then is, that's not the one. This one, infographic, because it says infographic. Righto. So here we go. Here's just another. As you look at it, it creates this code that you can copy to your text editor and download it, and all the JavaScript in there tells us that it's going to be pretty interactive and pretty cool. So here we go. There's we've looked at 19 competitors. There are 6 market niches, 4 major opportunities. That's pretty cool. Niche distribution, where are they? So we can tell where they all are going to be. Specialty coffee, family friendly, modern and trendy, upper niche, unique niche, beg your pardon, and so on. So there's that. You got the price of brunch. Well, price of big breakfast or equivalent is going to be up to $45 or so at 80/20 Belconnen. And again, any of these outliers, I would obviously encourage, you go and look at it manually just to double check. Because I haven't done any double checking on this stuff, so I don't know whether this is just making stuff up or not. You'd want to go and have a double check on this sort of business. So where do these guys all sit? And then we can look, this is the really interesting thing. So the market gap, well, limited specialty dietary opportunities. So there's an opportunity in there. Most cafes close by late afternoon, leaving an evening void. I haven't looked at any of this stuff, so it's like, it's a great thought provoker to get started with your research. It's really interesting the way it's come up with this stuff, obviously, and that's just looking at that. And then the last thing I said was, well, now generate me an audio file, and it's done that too. And there's a 5-minute file, and I haven't played this yet, so let's just see what it says, a little bit of it, if you can hear it. my audio is not working here, so I don't know whether yours is or not. But at any rate, that's the file. You can typically, with these ones, I would expect you to download that and listen to it offline, whatever you like, later on as well. So, listen to it in the car on the way home if you like. So there you go. That's an example there for you for doing some market analysis. And if you're going to start a business or continue, or you're looking at marketing strategy, that sort of stuff, there's a great way to get started on that, and how you might view your data, look at your data, and obviously taking my caution is that just accepting what it gives you at face value is usually more than a bit dangerous and a bit silly, frankly. That's the first bit, I would say. And the second thing is with using an accountant or a professional marketing manager, so on, you're going to be guiding about your professional approach to how you would be doing this stuff anyway. But that's a great way to get started on what you might do and how you might use AI to do it. And I've in this one used two. I've used ChatGPT and Gemini to get the data. And in both of these, I should also point out that when I did them, I said in ChatGPT, I said use deep research, importantly. And when I did Gemini, I said deep research. And when I did Grok, I said deep search. So they're all pretty similar stuff. And we're still having a crack at it with this one. So it's still struggling. Anyway, we'll see how we go with that one. Till next time.